And welcome back. Today flying out the BF-110. I completely forgot which variant this is, but it should be in the title, so just read that one. It's the 3.7 variant. And this thing, well, it's not the best plane, but it's also not meant to be used in the way that I'm using it. I'm gonna be using it as a main fighter, and I'm gonna be dogfighting, turnfighting, reversing, like we do usually. Except this time we're going to be a little bit more handicapped. I do have the gun pods on, I have 4 of the 20 mils in the nose. The gun pods run out of ammo pretty quickly and the air spawn is pretty helpful. The longer the game goes on, the worse this thing becomes, and if you have to face something like a P38, maybe an XP50, you're gonna have a bit of a problem. But more of that later on. How do you fly this thing? There is no real how do you fly this thing. You really just have to adapt to the scenario, and it depends completely on what the enemy does. This plane is as good as the enemy allows you to be, and if they try to pull in last second head on like that when I'm already shooting at you, then yeah, you are gonna be dying. If he had just dodged that head on, there wouldn't be much that I could really do. This thing is pretty sluggish, and especially above 550 kilometers an hour, the compression is abysmal, and you're not gonna be pulling a lot, making it very hard to actually get out of people's guns, because you're either gonna be way too slow to dodge, or you're gonna be too fast to dodge, and once you are too fast, you are really gonna struggle trying to lose that speed, and once you lose it, you're again too slow. So you really have to just find a fine balance, and it will just depend on what the enemy is doing. And right here we're gonna start off climbing right into the enemy, because I'm gonna use the air spawn. I can't really boom and zoom them if they are also going fast, so I'd rather intercept them in their climb opposed to side climbing and then catching them once they are already up to speed at the altitude they want to be at. Right now I'm a little bit above them and I'm a little bit faster, so this is the prime time for this plane. And the prime time of this plane is very short, so you want to make sure you use it as efficiently as you can. Right now we're gonna go head on with the Spitfire. He's going pretty slow, so that's a big chance I won't miss the head on, and if I do, I have some speed to go vertical and I might be able to actually win the dogfight. And when I say win the dogfight, I mean Spitfire is too slow, he doesn't really know what he's doing, and if he doesn't, then well, I'm gonna have a pretty easy time. Don't manage to get the guns on here, and you can tell I'm going 400, he's going much slower, so we're gonna dodge his guns once here, because he just simply does not have the energy to pull in. We go vertical, we pull our nose straight up, and we're gonna try to fall right on top of him. And you can tell right here, I'm gonna have a very easy shot, and he actually pays attention. And this is what I mean with, I cannot make this plane better than it is. If that Spitfire had not paid attention, he would have died. A lot of guys will not react to you putting their nose on them. This guy did, and now I'm in a little bit of a problem. I gambled on the fact that Spitfire was not gonna be aware of me. He was. And now it kinda boned me. Switch to the gunner view, try to scare him off, he breaks off, and now we only have the P51 on our 6. And what do you do about a P51 on your 6? Not an awful lot, but we're gonna do our best and we're gonna see if we can actually do anything. Typhoon joins the mix as well, and much bigger problem, the P51 is manageable. Not something I want on my 6, but it's definitely manageable. A Typhoon, however, well, not exactly fun to fight in this thing. It turns extremely well, it is extremely fast. Climb rate is not a slouch either. It has 420 mils, just like the Mustang. But all in all, that thing is very maneuverable. The only benefit that I have with the Typhoon is he rolls extremely poorly. So I'm gonna cut my throttle here. I'm gonna try to not compress too much, and I'm gonna try to get the Typhoon in front of me as quickly as I can by cutting inside of his roll. He's trying to pull lead, so I pull up over him. He does not have a shot, and he is gonna be a lot faster than us because we have been cutting throttle for a while. We dodge his guns, we go vertical, and I'm trying to get my guns on here. It's very sluggish, as you can tell, and the Typhoon didn't go vertical, instead he goes down. Big mistake. All he had to do was not fly into that direction. I crit him, we shoot a few more rounds, we take his wing off, and that's gonna be kill number 1. A little bit late, was expecting a little bit more, because mostly if you don't have 2 or 3 kills by this time into the match, more likely than not you are already gonna be losing. Or you get a team that carries you, it's one or the other. But you really want to make use of your time at the start, because right now I have to reclimb. I said side climbing and attacking people once they are slow still is a good tactic, but right now everyone is already in their position. So I need to regain some altitude, I need to regain my footing, and I need to make sure that I can actually engage anyone. B25 goes down and the P51 now comes back for me. So I try to shoot in the head on, I notice that he dodges, so I'm going to try to recommit here. It's going to make it so that he has a much worse line starting off in this fight. I'm a lot slower than him, and which makes it a lot easier to stay on the 6. And look at the turn rate difference here. So I'm gonna just keep my throttle all the way on 0. I'm gonna throttle back up, now he goes vertical. And again, he made a mistake in my energy state, and he's gonna fly straight into my guns. We get a crit. Not much damage there, I think. It doesn't look like he's doing too poorly. But he's gonna go down again. And this is... ultimately, this is what's going to get him killed. I hear another plane. I'm not sure what it is. But it's a friendly. So we are completely fine. He gets set on fire. He gets stolen. A little bit unfortunate. Well, not really stolen. He wasn't really that badly damaged. But I totally could have killed him if I had known the friendly was right there. I thought it was still ground pounding, because he was doing that just a minute ago. And now we're gonna do the same thing as we were earlier. Look at the P-51 right above us, but I'm gonna cut right to that, because it's gonna take a while for us to actually get some altitude. So here we go, P-51, about 1 to 2 minutes of climbing. We are now at 3 kilometers. The XP-50 is tangled up with the P-51, and it's taking him a little bit to kill him. F6F also joins in. And the XP-50 has the P-51 straight on his tail, and it doesn't look very good for him. So I'm gonna try to actually save his ass here. The XP-50 should of course win the fight with the P-51. But I'm not sure what it's looking like. It looks like he's smoking a little bit. I'm not sure how badly damaged that he is. I'm not sure if the P-51 is damaged at all, but I don't think he is. It's a P-51D, I'm gonna guess a D5. And it turns out to be a D10. Which is an extremely dangerous plane. Of course not a plane that's capable of out dogfighting the XP-50, but it's a pretty capable plane nonetheless. And here we have an SM-91, a little bit more comparable to what we are flying. However, I would rather be in the SM-91 opposed to the BF-110. But we have a pretty hefty advantage here. We have a lot of altitude. He doesn't have the best climb rate, he doesn't have the best turn rate. So we should be able to just sit here, and as long as we don't get absolutely railed by those 20 mils, we should be completely fine. And he's gonna stall out here. I'm delaying my turn here, so I'm not gonna end up going head on with him. Drop the flaps, and we just pull in straight. He is stalled out, and just not much he is gonna be doing. Shouldn't have pitched up for me. Should have made me come to him, because then I compress. Makes it a lot easier for him to deal with me. But there goes the SM-91. Spitfire pops up right behind us, and he is on equal altitude, and he is already catching me, which is not a great sight. The Spitfire, as you saw at the start there, if they are paying attention, I am gonna have a little bit of a problem. And at this point, I don't have any teammates nearby. I have the F6F coming, so I think, well, let's just go into a dogfight. If anything, if I die here, I will at least bait the Spitfire low so that the F6F can actually deal with him. Because I won't be outrunning the Spitfire, and running away when it's the last guy, when it's like 5v1, is extremely boring. So I try to get on his wingtip, we get on his roll rate. We cut the throttle again to kind of get in behind him, kind of go slower, and he just completely turns the opposite way, and then he turns back in. Bad call, but I managed to miss it. We pull in after him again, and he again reverses his turn in front of us. And I can tell you right here that I'm out-turning the Spitfire, but no. He is making it very easy for me to kill him, if I can of course get my nose on target. If you are out-turning someone, do not reverse your turn, just keep going. And of course it depends on the plane that you're flying. Some planes will run out of energy pretty quickly, and maybe then, yeah, you can do it. But if someone is a lot slower than you, and you are out-turning him, if you reverse your turn, he is going to get the shot. So be careful with that. Even if you are in the Ki-43, and he is in something like the, well, this thing. If you turn back in, he is going to get the shot if you do not roll out of the way. So be very careful with that. And here we are again. We're gonna do the exact same thing. This time, however, they have some XP-50s, they have a P-61, and they have some airspan planes in general, making it so that I can't really do anything. So instead, I'm just gonna go straight in and see if I can pick off some people in the head-on. If people dive with me, if people try to go for me, that's perfect. Taking people out of the fight in the BF-110, or even trading with people in the BF-110, is definitely worth it. Problem is, everyone I went for is diving to the deck, and if I had gone for them, I would have been killed by the other guys that are above me and behind me without actually getting the kill on them. So then it's not a trade, it's simply forfeiting your life, and that's not worth it no matter what plane you're flying. Maybe in like an Arado B or the Votua 2B, planes like that, you can try to get a ram in or something like that, make people waste their ammo. But in general, you guys should really just value your life a little bit more. And this also goes for real life. So, life advice with War Thunder. But for now, we're just gonna be climbing away for a little bit. A6M3 over there at altitude is really just denying me the ability to do anything. the A6M3 is just gonna sit on your 6. And we all know how maneuverable that thing is, and I can't even outrun it properly, because if I try to dive away, I will look up, he will just close the gap, and he will completely outturn me, which doesn't sound very good. A6M is actually breaking off, however, so we can now try to turn back in and see if we can do something with the Spitfire. I'm just gonna head on him. I still have all my ammo, so I'm gonna be spraying a little bit. He's trying to dodge, doesn't dodge properly, and we shoot his wing off. That's fine. A6M3 right ahead of us. He's going extremely slow. He's basically stalling himself out. Full broadside shot, squeeze the trigger, down he goes. Kill number 2. Well, kill number 1, Spitfire is not going to be up much longer. I know that he's crippled, I know he's trying to RTB, and I also know that he can very easily land like that. And I don't want to deal with a Spitfire that has a vendetta against me because I already took his wing off. Go head on, shouldn't have taken that in retrospect. But I thought I was gonna easily get a kill in. Luckily this thing is an absolute tank, so you can head on most guys, but it was a bit of a waste. Just unfortunately, Spitfires with one wing are still pretty damn maneuverable, and they are pretty damn annoying on top of it. So right here there's a Spitfire and a P2 and a Q on the deck. And the rest of the team is right over there. So I'm gonna try to get that Spitfire to go for me again, and he is. So now I'm just gonna go down, and if he tries to dive on me here, he's going to have a bad time, because he's not going to be pulling out of the dive, because he's going to be compressing, he only has one aileron on, and there's a very big chance he just slams straight into the ground. So I'm going to be ignoring him for a little bit. We can manage to get a hit on the Spitfire, and now look at his turn rate, it is simply not happening. I'm full pulling here, well not anymore, but I was trying to full pull, and really this thing is not moving at all. I'm outrunning the first Spitfire, second one is trying to dive on Razor, and just as planned, there he comes. Pling, straight into the ground. Don't try to 90-degree dive bomb people with one wing, it's not gonna end very well. Spitfire on my 6, still outrunning him, I'm still a bit faster, I came from a lot of altitude. And he has someone on the 6, so I'm just trying to very slowly turn to the left. Razor is on my left wing, so I'm just kind of slowly pulling him into him. Not paying attention, and there he goes. Key 96 on our 6, well not the biggest problem in the world, we are 2v1 here. And we have plenty of firepower to deal with this guy. He is going straight for Razor, so I just turn around. This is kind of annoying, however, because I need to reclimb and help my my team out with that XP50 as well as the A6M over there. So this delay is actually pretty costly. It doesn't pose much of a threat, but it's very easy for him to kill us in the long run by keeping us busy and making it so that we cannot do what we want to do. Razor trying to reverse with the Wolfram rockets, and he's been successful a few times. I'll show you one on the top right here. Go ahead on with the key 96, and at this point I can't really dodge anymore. I'm too slow, so I'm just forced to stick it. I try to roll around his guns a little bit to make him less likely to hit me. Looks like he forfeited his mouse controls because he was just flying straight at me and holding his trigger down. So that ended up quite alright. And now we have an XP50 as well as an A6M3, and they just killed our teammate. That's exactly what I meant. If that key 96 hadn't been there, we would have been completely fine. Well, completely fine is a big word. We would have been in a lot better of a position. So we just turn around and we try to get some separation in, and I'm trying to break off with Razor, see who they go for, and if they pick one target, if they both go for the same one, I can then go for him or them or the other way around. For now it looks like the A6M is going for Razor, the XP50 is going for me, and the XP50, if he doesn't break off to go for Razor here, we can do something to the A6M, which a lot of people will actually fall for. If I turn for the A6M, there's a very big likelihood that he's gonna turn around and try to head on me, whether it's to 1v1 me, 2v1 me, because I'm gonna be in this secluded area with the XP50, so in his eyes it's going to be a 2v1, which is very appealing for a zero pilot, or for any pilot really, to turn around for. But they forget the part where Razor will then be on their 6. Of course he's still in the BF-110, so he's not the most dangerous aircraft, but for right now, XP50 is on my 6, I'm gonna be starting to catch the A6M. Now if the A6M doesn't actually want to turn around for me, Razor can go head on with him, turn around, go for me, and then we can trade head on, but the A6M is doing exactly as we planned and he's turning around for us now. Now I'm going head on with the A6M, which basically gives me a free shot, whereas the XP50 is still too far away to really do anything. Razor is also turning around now, he's coming back in with us as well. 1.8 kilometers, plenty of distance. I'm gonna try to get a shot in here on the 0, and he does the worst thing imaginable, and he turns right in front of me. I try to predict where he's gonna pull up. I point my nose there, and if he doesn't point there, I'm not getting the shot. Luckily he was pretty predictable. We get a crit in on the 0, which is gonna hamper him quite a bit, and he actually dies from that. XP50 is now right above us, and I'm gonna lay on the pressure here, trying to get the shot in. Almost managed to get it here, but he just pulls out of the way, and back up he goes. And he has me by the balls here. I can't really do anything other than run away, and luckily I still have a squad mate right on his 6 as well. So if the XP50 thinks he's just gonna stick on my 6, he's not close enough, he's not fast enough to catch me very quickly, and he's not really outrunning Razor. If he's so determined to kill me, he is going to die himself. Make sure to now and then, however, look forward, because yeah, I was about to hit that hill, but Razor takes him down, and that is going to be game. Hope you enjoyed it. See you all next week.